speaking of exciting, we've got my pick this week, was the 2009 film Redline, not to be confused with the 2007 film Redline, whatever fucking year that one came out, I don't know. This one is the story about JP. He was a previous match fixer in the Redline, or just like these galactic races in general, and he is attempting to win this year's Redline, and hilarity ensues.
Fun fact, so this movie took 7 years to make. It does not use any CGI, and it has over 100,000 hand-drawn images to make it.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Did it bankrupt the studio?
No, the studio was Madhouse.
Yeah. This was
What fucking movie am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. This was just like the last like really big kind of like anime of its time, you know? Like we just don't see any big ass hand-drawn films like this anymore. Because it took so long to make and it just didn't do particularly well at the box office.
Yeah, this to me very much felt to me like the studio was like, we want to make a fuck, I had the perfect word for it before and now I lost it.
Magnum opus.
Yeah, similar to Magnum opus. It's just like this is like the crowning achievement of what our studio is capable of making at full power, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of which, Dylan, what'd you rank it?
I gave it an A, personally.
Wow. I'm rocking an S- on this one.
I kind of thought you'd like this movie.
I'm also rocking an S-.
I'm a fucking hater, apparently. I gave this an A-.
You would.
I mean, my S- is like 99% due to the fact that this is the most visually impressive film we have ever seen, and I have no idea what we would have to see to surpass this.
Just you wait until we see Dragon Ball Super Superhero, man. That one's gonna blow your mind.
Did we? Oh yeah, I forget we didn't actually watch that for the podcast. The three of us just decided to watch it that one night. Very funny.
Yeah. But yeah, like Tanner said, this shit is fucking fire. Big fan of the animation. It really has a great way of selling the speed unlike anything else we've ever seen. Just like the vehicles feel as though they're falling apart and unable to handle the crazy velocities that they're moving at. And just like the racers themselves, like during that first big race, we see that JP is like fucking bleeding because of how fast they're moving. It's kick-ass.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of figured the main character would be up your alley, Nico. He definitely seems like he's like the guy from No More Heroes or whatever. He kind of gives me that vibe.
He's like the Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. He's just space dandy as well. Fantastic archetype of character. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a very visually appealing anime. I enjoyed it a lot. This was
you like the visuals?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I was expecting to hate the art style.
It took a minute for me to get used to it. It did. And what's funny is because I was like, okay, so there's a Redline live action movie, there's this Redline, and as we can say, there is no correlation between the two movies. The same could have been said for Metropolis, you know, that 1920 film, and then the fucking anime Metropolis, and the director saying he had no clue that the other film existed. Alas, they were pretty similar. But like this movie just it's so engaging, it's pretty fast paced, which is nice, and it helps with the engagement. I like how, for the most part, the universe is pretty self-contained. There are a lot of things in this where it's like, alright, well, what is this? What is that? What does that mean? What does this do? And there's just a lot of loose ends they leave that they don't ever come back to. Like, there's that one portion there at the end where it's the fucking, what was the baby thing called?
Funky Boy.
Yeah, Funky Boy. Interesting concept. Interesting addition to the movie. There for no reason, seemingly. There's other plot things going on here, and then randomly one of the other military dudes fuses with something that we're going to assume is of the same caliber and fights it. And then we just never get back to it. And I understand, like, the main point of this movie...
the plot itself is entirely inconsequential. It just mainly serves as a vehicle to facilitate, like, the awesome moments and set pieces that we see throughout it.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, but I agree. It has nothing to do with the plot, and some people, you know, you can just look past that. It's no big deal. I am of the ilk that if you're gonna throw something into a movie, at least have something... I ended up asking Jackson, too. I was like, does this movie have, like, an anime, or is, like, there's something else? And he was like, no, this is, like, self-contained. Which, you know, if it's gonna be self-contained, at least attempt to maybe not explain everything, but don't just, like, leave loose ends hanging around. And that's kind of has to do with why my rating wasn't super high up there. But also, going back to the pacing, in some parts it was a little fast, and it was it didn't make too much sense. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was a very enjoyable watch.
So Jackson, why the fuck did you hate this movie?
I gave it a fucking A-, bro. I like this movie a lot. I think it's very fun. This, like you guys all have been alluding to, I'm a big plot guy. I like a nice draw with me. You guys should be pretty aware of that given my ranking of Super Broly. This movie has a plot. It's pretty nonsensical, but it's fun. I like the characters. They're all pretty well defined. All the action scenes are great. They do some really interesting things with the visuals that you guys said. This is a visually stunning movie, and that certainly is what's really selling it in the end. It's got a fun soundtrack too. I enjoy that. It's just a really fun, solid movie. There isn't a ton of depth to it. This is some shit that you kind of just put on and don't think too hard about. But like, it's a fun time. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take itself too seriously at all. Like you said, the characters, it's just a nice zany cast of characters here who feel right at home in some like F-Zero. Like, they're all very distinct from one another, and the personalities will shine through just so much in their character designs. You don't really get any substantial arcs with any of them, This isn't like, a super plot-focused film all that much. But at the same time, they're all so well characterized in their actions and personalities, so you immediately get what their deal is, and they even have these nice moments of humanity to them that make them feel very real, which I appreciate.
Dude, Nico, did you like the Captain Falcon debut and also the fucking... I don't know which character this would be, but the Beavis and Butthead Robin sidekick that he had?
Yeah. Literally, when they were on screen, I was like, this is just Beavis and Butthead in this film.
I was telling Jackson, I think it's a really cool concept to have this group of illicit racers and this just more... I'm not going to say morally, this government or, so whatever, like law... where they're like, you're not gonna do this thing, and they're like, well, too bad, we want to do it anyway. But each individual member that's participating in the race, like you were explaining, has their niche things they do. Like, we see the bounty hunters, they go in and they mess with something on the ship, and then you got all these people that do their specialties without each other knowing to sabotage the race. But then when it all comes together at the final point of it actually happening, things play out the exact way they need it to happen, so the race can happen. And I thought that was a really cool concept. It's like, like I said, you just have everybody specialize in what they do, so like some plot can happen. And it's not even convenience either. It's like we saw them do it, and we know it's gonna happen. So it was really cool to see.
Yeah. I agree with what you guys are saying. The characters are fun. They're very tropey, but also like... that's appropriate for what this movie is.
They just lean into it so hard, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my big negatives, one is I think JP is just kind of a whatever protagonist. There's nothing behind those eyes, we'll say. There's not a ton going on with him.
Yeah.
And the plot, like we've mentioned, very straightforward and whatever, but it is just meant to show you all these visually stunning moments and whatever.
Do you guys think that they died at the end? No? Okay, they were just floating off into the sky on fire.
Yeah, I don't know. They absorbed the whatever the fuck they called that thing into themselves, and it let them fly around. I really liked the dictator guy, specifically because he has this really funny line to me where what does he say? He says, like, they're gonna violate our airspace with technology that only exists in theory? Those vermin!
That was a pretty good line.
To me.
I was gonna say, I did think it was kind of silly how crash-proof JP was, and kind of just any character. I remember posing this question to Jackson. I was like, dude, if you could have the superpower just be crash-proof, no matter what happens, you just walk out of an accident, would you take it? And that's basically just JP. Like, after the first accident, he was just in many, many crashes, and he was just fine. Like, the time, like, his car flew off a ridge or, like, blew up or whatever, he was, like, falling, suspectingly to his death, and then he just lands in, like, a bed of flowers and survives without a scratch on him. And then, yeah, again, at the end, where their vehicle is, like, falling apart because of the steam light. And then, like, if the Force was making him bleed at the beginning of the movie, and this Force was way more powerful, and then they're just flying through the air at that speed, and, like, with no protection, like... I will say, the funnier bit at the end there is that, everybody was making fun of his pompadour and all that stuff in his hair. And then that's what ended up winning him the race at the very end. I thought that was very appropriate and very funny. I liked that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from that, I did think, despite the the sort of straightforward plot and whatever. I do think it's a fun wrinkle holding the race on this planet that straight up just doesn't want them there, and they're going to kill the racers if they try to race there. Maybe a bit of a missed opportunity to not actually kill any of the racers.
I did think it was very bizarre that, like, especially after all that shit with Funky Boy happened, that just, like, nobody was dead.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of the fucking soldiers were, but... Yeah, a bit weird, but, yeah. And then also just, like, that moment of the fucking Redline ship teleporting into the planet and then raising out to be the end line. Very funny and very cool.
Kick ass, yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like some of the writers died during the race. I think it was just like well, actually, no, I guess they all were. They
didn't draw attention to it in any way.
I'm trying to think of who I think the 2 girls were there. The Captain Falcon guy, I think, was there. The police guy, who definitely should have been dead, I think, was still there.
Yeah, he was still alive.
Yeah, maybe I guess nobody died then.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see a problem in that personally, but...
Yeah, I find it to be whatever. But yeah, I think that's about all I have for it. Oh, I was going to say, fun fact, I watched this movie twice this week.
Whoa.
I was so fucking jazzed about it that I literally was like, you know what, I just want to put it on again.
Okay.
That's very fair. It's a very easily digestible film, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, massive fan, ridiculously fun, just had a really great time with it. We didn't really touch on the art style all that much either, we just said it was good, but yeah, very nice, thick and sharp line work combined with the really grungy style of his characters. Gave it a great look, akin to something like Jet Set Radio, or like Lethal League as well. It's just some of that good old-fashioned hand-drawn soul.
Yeah, I like how it's a bit varied between different alien species as well.
They look kick-ass.
Yeah. And the fact that they were still able to get that frame-for-frame animation style is really nice. Especially knowing now that it's hand-drawn, that shit's crazy. Like, I can appreciate that a lot about this movie.
It's none of that fucking slop we get nowadays, Jesus Christ. Just this plastic-ass, generic anime art style for every fucking film.
Oh, dude, I just remember another joke I thought was really funny was when Sonichi was watching her little interview, and she goes, "Nice shot of my ass, guys," and then she plops into frame and she's topless. Yeah. It's a solid joke.
I was telling Jackson that moment, I was like, man, I thought she was going to step out of that bathroom naked, but I'm glad they just didn't go for that route. And literally immediately after I said that, she fucking plops down naked. I was like, well, there goes that sanctity, I suppose. Oh, well.
Yeah.
This film has a lot of personality. I can appreciate that.
Oh, it sure does.
Yeah. It really does, yeah.
I think that's all I've got to say about it then.
Same here.
Yes, fam. I'm sticking out my A-.
I'm gonna stick with my A.
I'm chilling with my S-.
I'm sticking with my S- as well.
And it lands at a solid A+ overall.
Wow.
Very
Nice.
appropriate.